Annie. So we are going to talk about goals. So I'm going to show you the goals. First, we're going to be a little silly. So this first goal that we had for last year said create course. I'm just going to put plan. We did plan. Publish 4 books. No. Edit. Yeah, we did that. Work on. We're going to plan. That's what we did last year. We did attend 4 events and we did change our website up. So, I mean, when you start editing your goals, you can reach your goals. When we look at goals, one of the things I think that I struggled with in the past was they weren't goals that were measurable. And in SMART goals, I think that's an important thing when you're trying to set goals. I don't even think of them as goals because most of the time these are the same goals I have every year. I mean, obviously changing around the house, we focus on different parts of our house. But in all the rest, it's usually the same goals every year. And then we just figure out how much we do. So I broke it down into marking whether they were quarterly and having 4 squares, whether they were every month and they had the months, or every week and they had the weeks here, or if they were project based, like this one is Learn Ojibwe, convo verbs, phrases. And I kind of want to add one more thing here. I'm not quite sure yet what to do with that, but a lot of this is goals broken down into personal, our products, because that's what we focus on, our art business, our publishing business, and then YouTube channel, and then my work, my day job. And then this is home. And the reason I break it down this way is because these are my focus. So if you found your focus, then you sit there and you break it down and think about the things you want to accomplish. And then break it down into quarterly or every month or annually. And then what I do is I look at which ones need to be habits so that I can accomplish them, such as exercise, because I can't lose weight if I'm not exercising or moving. I can't publish a book unless I write it. I can't create and sell art if I don't create art. Our home is working on decluttering and language. So this is my key here for self-care, really focusing on taking care of myself. A lot of people were talking about going analog, and I did. I took off all apps, all social media off my phone, except for YouTube, which I'm using to learn about homesteading and my personal curriculum and looking at other planner videos, and Pinterest, which I'm also using for my self-education, as well as books. But I color-coded, so read, marking if I read fiction or nonfiction, which focus of the learning I'm doing, so my personal curriculum. So if you look, I have personal curriculum, then I have over here language, home's right there, language, and exercise and water are all in my self-care. And then so is energy and everything. It's kind of in that same space. But for the business stuff, it's mainly about writing and art. And so that's kind of what my trackers are for. But when you look at the goals, I also have trackers. But then I also have where I broke it down by quarter. So I take these big concepts and break them down into medium concepts. And then I sit there and I write it down. I look at the whole quarter all together and go, okay, this is the things I'm going to focus on throughout the entire quarter. And then what I do is monthly, which I really like about this planner, is that I can have my videos broke down, my goals broke down, what skills I'm trying to practice, chores, which obviously needs more space, personal curriculum, writing, our cosplay. These are the goals I'm trying to get done for this month itself. These are the different sections in here that I really want to focus on for January. So then I take it annual, quarter, monthly, and then even go down to weekly. So I have the week goals here. So I take all these different goals at the beginning of the month that I brought from the quarterly, and I break them down into each week. And then what I want to do is I check them off, but I'm also keeping track of, like, am I doing chores? Am I doing a family gathering? What am I watching, reading? So then I can look at my wins and struggles. And I'm working on journaling. So the journaling prompts for this week here are about my habits and how they're helping me or they're not helping accomplish my goals. Because that's what I'm focusing on, is trying to get the things done to help me get to that life I want to get to. And that's where it ultimately is. So then to also help myself, I have so this section in the weeks, so I have all this down. But then I have more trackers in my week because I can track down how many words I counted. So that's what I was doing here. And then what I was accomplishing for my goals. So then the next part that I'm using for tracking is also this. So I have in the first part of the annual goals broken down by 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, 60 pounds. This is tracking so I can go, okay, and start marking out the weight as I lose it. And then when I get to that 20 pounds, that's my first goal in my annual goals. That's where I'm going to be like, okay, what do I get if I get that award? Same thing with the language. So these are going to help me with keeping track weekly, monthly, quarterly. And then I kind of look and see what I'm working on daily to get stuff done. I think that's kind of the process when you're trying to accomplish goals. But one of the biggest things is making realistic goals. And sitting there and thinking about your energy levels and what you can accomplish. Each day is going to be different. Each week is going to be different. Each month is going to be different. And even each quarter is going to be different. It just depends because there's so much stuff that pulls us in different directions. If you look at a person as a Venn diagram, you have, let's go to a piece of paper here. And you think about all those things you want to accomplish. And then you think about all those other tasks that affect us. So we have all our family. And then we have bills here. And we're like right here in the middle. And all this stuff is pulling us all different ways. If we have a business or a day job, right? And then you have to think about all those other little worries that are in between the family and the business. Time. How much time am I taking away from my family for my business? All of these play a role. And so when you're thinking about your goals, if you make them measurable and you start trying to break them down, you'll be able to adjust as changes come. So that is how I deal with my goals. And trying to have grace with myself. If I'm looking at like my trackers, I have 2 black here, which means I didn't do any. It's none. So anytime I see a black, it means I didn't do anything. And as long as I don't see this whole month just full of not getting anything accomplished, I feel like I'm working in the right direction. So that is the way I deal with my goals. Hopefully that gave you some ideas on how to break it down, and we'll see you in the next video. And if you have any questions about goals or about setup, let me know in the comments and I'll try to get to them. And then hopefully we can work together to get our goals accomplished. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Bye, Bye.